Double-edged question for you.
Mhm.
How do you build the confidence so they feel safe in speaking up? And what's the number one thing that you're going to do to give companies that systems or knowledge they have to include DEI in their work?
Yeah. So for the companies, it's not just talking to or having workshops at the level of, let's say, like middle managers. It has to go to the top. So when we're working with the HR teams, and if they want DE&I specific type programs, we try to have conversations of who can we have these workshops with? Who can we do like executive coaching? If you really want the results. Of course, at the end of the day, it's not our choice, but we can tell them the best way to reach this result and outcome that you've defined is that we have to start creating a culture, changing perspectives at the top, and having like workshops or just like open forums for the executives to have like quick conversations because with executives, like time is very precious, and then executive coaching with them. And in terms of the confidence, one of the things that surprises people about leadership coaching, workplace coaching, is that it always encompasses some level of life coaching. And confidence varies for different reasons. It could be because people question how smart they are, or it could be because they've immigrated from a different country. These are some of the examples that I've experienced, and they are doubting their English or just holding on so tight to the job that they don't want to go back to where they come from.
Hmm.
Or it could just be from like just childhood and real having as a coach, it's not therapy, but we do sometimes just use the past as a reference and say like what differs now than where you were then, and how can you learn from it. So those are the type of questions and confidence challenges that I've seen. So it's working on that, so pinpointing it and then working on it.
Good. Wow.
It all takes time, and building confidence, helping people release limiting beliefs, all of that takes time. But then again, so does influencing the culture from the top down. So I liken it to the baby steps of while I think, trying to figure out how to say it, for someone who is in the position of trying to be heard and advance in their organization, and they're being met with maybe a less inclusive response, they don't have to figure it all out in the first step, because it takes time for the company to shift, and they can slowly shift with it. And every little step, just take a little opportunity. So I don't know if you see that happening a lot, where both are moving in parallel, or even you said that you come in and ask what the goals are of the organization and you start there. Do you see a common theme that is a goal that's happening, like you're hearing the same thing over and over again? That kind of gives us a pulse of what's happening across industries. Do you see common goals?
Yes, one common goal that we see is trying to get like more people of color in management.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So that's been like one of the trends that have come up. And that also like plays into the culture. Well, why isn't this the case now? But it's great that we're doing this, but what has been preventing that? So
Right.
we have to have some of these type of conversations with the organization to understand their history, where they've come from, and decide, okay, what's the best way to get to this? Is it a recruitment? Or is it knowledge within the company? Is there like lack of interest? Various reasons, but that's been the big trend. And what you said about time,
Yeah.
yeah, it takes quite a bit of time because um, sometimes, especially dealing with DE&I, there's a lot of sensitivity. This is just like how we do it. We're working, like we are already inclusive. And I think often the people who feel it most are the individual contributors, those who are trying to climb the ladder. And even for them, they have to learn how to make their voice be heard and learn how to influence in a structure that may be moving slower than they are as they're learning these skills.
Yeah.
So it's easy to say, oh yeah, just we're going to make it more inclusive. We're going to put the structure in. And like even me, I recognize that um, it takes time to do it, and it may not be as easy as said as done.